This is typically the time of year where families are gearing up and preparing for a new school year, which also means that in our student ministry, this is the time of year where you'd be getting signed up for those small groups that we have that meet in local homes and are organized by grade and gender-specific groups. We're actually making some changes to the structure and schedule of how we do small groups. And so I wanted to make this short video to share with you what those changes are and what our new normal will look like for the upcoming year. These are changes I'm actually really excited about. If you know anything about our student ministry, you know that we really value those small groups. We think that actually the most important part of being involved in our student ministry is getting plugged into a small group so that you can have interpersonal interactions with students in your grade and have leaders who oversee your small group who actually have an opportunity to get to know you and know what's going on in your life. And not only do we really value what goes on in small groups every month, but we've actually found that in the midst of this pandemic that small groups are one of the things that are least affected by a lot of the limitations that we've been faced with as a church and in gathering together. And we found that the things that are really good about small group and the things that we can do really well, we can continue to do that even in the midst of the limitations that we've been faced with. So because of our convictions about the importance and value of small groups, and because of the fact that we can continue to do small groups really the same way that we always have, we've made a few changes and we've adapted our ministry to really focus and put an emphasis on those small groups. So the new structure for how we're going to do small groups and student impact on Thursday nights is this. Every Thursday night, we're going to switch back and forth between a large group focus on Thursday nights to a small group focus on Thursday nights, week by week. So in the first Thursday in September will be a small group focus. When you show up to Student Impact, you will spend some time hanging out, but you'll break off into your small group. So if you're a sophomore guy, you'll be in the sophomore guys group, and junior girls will all be together, senior guys will be together, and so forth. Those groups will split off, and this year we're going to be studying the book of James together. You'll be given a copy of the book of James. It's a journal that you can write in, you can mark it up, and you'll also be given some questions. This is how we did things last year. You'll be given questions for studying the Bible for yourself, and you'll be assigned a portion of the book of James each month that you'll be studying on your own, answering questions for, and then coming to your small group 2 Thursdays a month, every other Thursday, to discuss those answers that you came up with and discuss among the group what you've learned. And so this is what we did last year, and the great benefit of this is that we're not only teaching the Bible in these small groups, but we are giving students the tools to learn how to read the Bible for themselves. We think that as they head off into college or the workforce or wherever they're headed from high school, that the ability to read and interpret and apply the Bible for themselves is an invaluable resource and a tool that we desperately want every student to have. And so that's what we did in small groups last year, and really the big change is that we're going to be doing that not just once a month on the first Thursday of the month, but we're going to be doing that every other Thursday, switching back and forth between large group and small group. Now, on the following nights, so there will be that small group focus, and then the next Thursday we'll move to a large group focus. And that night will look like a typical youth group night for us. We will have announcements, we'll have a chance to worship together in song with our praise team, and then I or one of the residents will be teaching, and actually teaching from the book of James, the same book that we'll be studying in small groups. And I will teach from that passage that we studied in small groups the week before. And so we'll be able to take those ideas and those concepts and those verses that we're learning from, and in the larger group, press those things even further so that we can really meditate on the book of James and study it and learn it well through the course of the year. So we'll be switching back and forth between small group to large group, and even though we've met in local homes for small groups in the past, all of these small group gatherings every week will be meeting here at Parkside Church. We'll be outside as much as we can, and then when the weather forces us inside, we have rooms set up throughout the commons area that will be designated for each small group. I'm really excited about this change that we've made, and I think it'll actually be for the better. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more these students and these leaders learn from God's Word and be able to share it with the other students and leaders in their small groups. So one last time as an overview, small groups will no longer meet in local homes. They'll always be meeting week by week at the church, and each week we'll switch back and forth from small group focus to large group focus. As parents, I hope that you are equally as excited as I am to see the value of what small groups bring to your students as we seek for unbelieving students to become committed followers of Jesus Christ. We know that God draws people to himself through his word and by his Spirit, and we know that every night that we devote to learning from the Bible and digging into the scriptures, we are doing more of what God uses to draw students to themselves. And so I pray and hope that you will see the value of that you would really push your student to get plugged in and to be involved and to get the benefit of being involved in a small group. And just know that I continue to pray for you as parents as you seek to do the work of discipleship, the primary job of discipleship in your homes. And I am eager and thankful for the privilege that I'm given to supplement what you're doing at home as I have a couple hours with your students every week to further develop their understanding of the Bible, their ability to read it for themselves, and to just be a means that God uses to draw students to himself. So I hope that you see the value in this. I'm praying and hoping that you partner with us in this and push your students to our ministry. And I'm looking forward to a year of studying the book of James together and seeing what God does in and through this ministry.